In 1998, in a small village in Fukuoka Prefecture, something terrible unfolded. A boy barely 20 was murdered in such a horrifying way that it ended up haunting the entire village. This incident might have been the beginning of what would later become known as the Inunaki village legend. This is an urban Japanese legend about a place that is now submerged in water, but it is said that about a century ago, a complete civilization resided there, and according to many accounts, there was nothing normal about this civilization. So, let's explore the legend of the Inunaki village. Think of a small village tucked away in the forest in Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. This place called Inunaki is so obscure that you could easily pass by it without noticing. The word Inunaki means howling, and the village can be located in the east of Inunaki Mountain, next to the farthest tributary of Inunakigawa, right on the western edge of Wakamiya. Legend has it that the villagers here outright rejected the Japanese constitution and refused to acknowledge the government's authority. If you were to venture near the entrance, you might spot a sign scrawled by hand that reads, "The Japanese constitution is not in effect past here." To find this elusive village, you need to take a small detour off the main road and pass through the old Inunaki tunnel. The original story, dating back to the early 1970s, tells of a young couple whose car broke down on their way to Hisayama. Seeking help, they wandered into what seemed like an abandoned village. Suddenly, an old man appeared, welcomed them to Inunaki, and then shockingly murdered them with a sickle. Talk about having just a terrible day. But that's not the only spine-chilling tale from this mysterious place. Another story speaks of a telephone booth near the Inunaki Bridge that supposedly gets a call from Inunaki Village every night. Answering this call curses the person, eventually transporting them to the village, where they lose control of their mind and body before dying. Anyone bold enough to enter the village would allegedly be hunted down and killed. Madness was rampant among the villagers, with one tale describing how a man went berserk and slaughtered everyone with an axe. Another version of the legend suggests that the village was a leper colony, or home to people with another infectious disease. The Inunaki tunnel was sealed off to prevent them from leaving and spreading the illness. Eventually, everyone would die, leaving the village abandoned. As if that wasn't enough to scare everyone, the area around Inunaki Village reportedly blocks all electronic devices. No cell phones, radios, or cars for some reason work there. If you manage to get in, good luck taking pictures or really calling for help. It's said that anyone who enters never comes out. According to the Japanese Wikipedia, there was once an old cemetery belonging to the Shinozaki family in this area. During the feudal period, the Shinozaki family, who were the headmen and foot soldiers, played a central role in the village. During the Meiji Administrative Division, it became part of Yoshikawa Village along with other nearby settlements. According to historical records from the Edo period, the real Inunaki village, known officially as Inunaki-deni Village, was founded in 1691 by a dispatch group from the Fukuoka domain, with Bunai Shinozaki as the headman. The village thrived on ceramic production and steel manufacturing, later even establishing a coal mine. In 1865, a castle named Inunaki Gobeken was built on the advice of Kato Shisho. Back in the late Edo period, around 1603 to 1868, Inunaki village was under the rule of the Kuroda clan. Found at the bottom of the valley, the villagers primarily made their living cutting wood from the surrounding forest. Getting in and out of the village was no small feat. In 1884, they began constructing a tunnel through the mountain. Given the limited technology of the time, the task was incredibly challenging and very costly, leading to numerous delays. It wasn't until 1927 that construction resumed, thanks to the persistence of various village chiefs who appealed to the authorities. The village itself is said to have been home to the Inunaki clan, a group supposedly made up of violent fugitives. These outcasts not only practiced incest, but also cannibalism, keeping themselves very isolated. Declaring independence from Japanese law was just one of the problematic things that these people were involved in. By April of 1889, thanks to the town and village system, Inunaki Denai was absorbed into the nearby Yoshikawa village, which over time merged with other areas, eventually forming the city of Miyawaka. Sadly, the original site of Inunaki Denai was submerged in 1986 due to the construction of the Inunaki Dam, which was completed in 1994, and its residents were moved to Wakita. The old Inunaki Tunnel area has a very dark history and is believed to be haunted due to several murder cases linked to it. Built in 1949, the tunnel would eventually fall into disuse after a new one was constructed in 1975. The old tunnel became dangerous because it really wasn't properly maintained. On December 6th of 1988, a gruesome event took place. 5 young men kidnapped and tortured a factory worker for his car, ultimately burning him to death with gasoline in the old tunnel. They were later arrested and sentenced to life in prison. The entrance to this eerie tunnel has since been sealed off from both sides. In 2000, another tragedy struck when a dead body was discovered in a nearby dam. Today, many believe the tunnel is still haunted by the souls of those who died during its construction when it collapsed, killing hundreds of workers. Some even claim to hear the eerie howls of a dog, lending to the village's name, which would translate to howling. The legend goes that a ghostly dog was killed by its owner during a hunting trip when it wouldn't stop yelping. In a fit of rage, the owner shot the dog, only to be confronted by a massive snake shortly afterward. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds like pure legend with no basis in reality, and you're mostly right. However, there is a real and tragic story that adds to the haunted reputation of the Inunaki Tunnel. On December 7th, 1988, the body of a 20-year-old factory worker, Umeyama Koichi, was found at the Inunaki Mountain Pass. The police quickly arrested a group of teenagers from the Takawa district, aged between 16 and 19, on suspicion of setting Umeyama on fire after dousing him in gasoline. Umeyama was known as a dutiful son. On the day of the incident, he was on his way home from work when a group of youths approached him while he was waiting at a stoplight. They demanded his car, saying they needed it to pick up some girls. When Umeyama refused, they attacked him and forced him into the car, assaulting him again once inside. Spotting a moment when his captors were distracted, Umeyama managed to escape despite his injuries. He ran, desperately trying to get help from passing cars, but no one stopped. The group would eventually catch up with him again. They tried to throw him over the edge of Kondaport, but Umeyama clung to the fence, refusing to give up. One of the youths suggested they stop, perhaps out of guilt or fear, but the ringleader insisted they go through with their plan, arguing that they were all in this together and couldn't let Umeyama live to tell the tale. They stuffed him into the trunk of his own car and beat him with tools like cranks and wrenches. Initially, they considered dumping his body in the Rikimaru Dam, but worried it would float and be discovered. Instead, they decided to burn his body to make identification impossible, leading them to the abandoned old Inunaki Tunnel. At the tunnel, they poured gasoline over Umeyama, which they had bought in a bottle at the gas station, claiming their bike had run out of fuel. His screams would echo out throughout the haunted tunnel, which was known for tales of vengeful spirits even before this incident. The eerie environment momentarily made the youths hesitate, giving Umeyama another chance to escape. These have to be like the most incompetent group of murdering teens that I've ever seen. How do you fumble murdering somebody like 20 times this bad? This is the most incompetent, like wet bandit Home Alone style criminals that I've ever seen. Back to the story. The youths called out to him, promising they wouldn't hurt him anymore. For reasons unknown, Umeyama believed them and came out of hiding. They captured him once again, stuffing ripped cloths into his mouth, binding his hands and feet, and repeatedly hitting him over the head with a stone. Blood splattered onto a nearby guardrail, but still, Umeyama didn't die. Begging for his life, he endured another gasoline dousing and was set on fire again. Writhing in agony, he somehow managed to run back to the tunnel entrance before collapsing. The group left, but soon returned to ensure he was dead. Satisfied that he was no longer moving, they headed back to Fukuoka City. Later, they were overheard in a bar boasting about their crime, claiming, "We just killed someone, set him on fire." High IQ criminals right here, boys. High IQ criminals right here, ladies and gentlemen. High IQ. Umeyama's body was discovered the next day, with the cause of death being blood loss from head injuries. The horror he endured after being set on fire while still alive is beyond imagination. The police would quickly arrest the group of youths. During the appeal trial on March 8, 1991, in Fukuoka court, the main perpetrator, 21 at the time but 19 during the crime, argued for a reduced sentence, claiming there was no clear intent to kill. However, the judge noted the exceptional cruelty of the act and maintained the life sentence, emphasizing the heavy responsibility of the ringleader. The other youths were also found guilty. The old Inunaki tunnel, already a place of ghostly lore, became even more infamous after this tragedy. Today, it's said that Umeyama's screams can still be heard echoing throughout the Inunaki tunnel. The Inunaki village itself now lies beneath the water. When the old tunnel became too inconvenient, it was blocked off with concrete and a new one was built. The construction of the Inunaki Dam left the village flooded, and is rumored to be a very popular spot for disposing of unwanted bodies. Back in 1999, Nippon TV received an intriguing letter from an anonymous sender titled "The Village in Japan That Isn't a Part of Japan." The author claimed not to believe in ghosts, but acknowledged that Inunaki Ridge is famous for them. They had heard of a narrow, easily missed path near the old Inunaki tunnel. As the path narrows, it supposedly leads to a village that doesn't appear on any maps. The letter painted a vivid picture of this lawless village, describing violent villagers and ending with a plea for the TV station to investigate the story as soon as possible. Takashi Shimizu directed a horror film called Howling Village, based on the legend, which was released in February 2019. The film's release sparked renewed interest in the old Inunaki tunnel, leading to more trespassing and vandalism. The legend also influenced the 2016 anime series The Lost Village and Junji Ito's manga The Story of the Mysterious Tunnel. Later in 2019, a horror game titled Inunaki Tunnel was released on Steam. The man behind the 2019 film was Takashi Shimizu, and through his research, he realized that in today's time, what's left of the Inunaki village has become a go-to spot for thrill seekers, especially young people looking to test their courage. Everyone in the local area knows about it. Over the years, the site has become a hot spot for ghost stories and urban legends, particularly with the rise of the internet. I always tell people the internet was a huge mistake. They never listen. One of the most chilling tales is about a quote-unquote phantom village beyond the tunnel that's supposedly been erased from history. Legend goes that if you step into this village, you'll be attacked by the villagers and never make it back. The terrifying legend of Inunaki Village has only grown with time. But what really gave Takashi the chills was when he visited the old Inunaki tunnel for his movie research. He hired a local driver who, as it turns out, was a classmate of the criminal boys involved in the 1988 incident. When he asked him about those days, everything lined up perfectly. He shared detailed accounts of what happened during the incident and the spooky rumors that persist to this day. To top it off, he even connected Takashi with someone who had a first-hand ghost experience. The journey to the Inunaki tunnel is like stepping into a different world. The surroundings get ever more quiet, and the sense of something unseen watching grows stronger. In the end, Takashi's visit to the old Inunaki tunnel was an eye-opener. The stories he heard and the people he met all contributed to a deeper understanding of why this place holds such a grip on the imagination. When you step into the world of Inunaki Tunnel, when you're the anonymous protagonist on a mission to uncover the secrets of the eerie old Inunaki Tunnel and the elusive Inunaki Village. Inunaki Tunnel gameplay is a first-person experience, and it feels like you're viewing the action through a camcorder. The game isn't about jump scares. Instead, it builds a scary atmosphere through disorientation. The game is intentionally dark, and the areas you explore are quite expansive. It's easy to wander off the main path and feel a surge of panic as you struggle to find your way back to a recognizable landmark, especially in a place largely reclaimed by nature. The story you uncover is very intriguing, unfolding as you piece together events from a distant past rather than solving a current mystery. By the time you reach the end, enough information is provided to draw some interesting conclusions, though some aspects are left to interpretation, ensuring you're not completely in the dark. As you dive deeper into the game, you'll find yourself questioning every noise and shadow. The dark, expansive environments create a sense of isolation and vulnerability. The camcorder's viewfinder adds an extra layer of immersion, making you feel like a true investigator documenting your findings. As you navigate the tunnel and the surrounding areas, you'll encounter various objects and clues that hint at the village's dark past. Old photographs, cryptic notes, and mysterious artifacts all piece together a story of isolation and possibly supernatural occurrences. Despite the heavy atmosphere, there are moments of quite beauty. The overgrown nature reclaiming the abandoned village creates a melancholic yet serene backdrop. These moments of calm contrast sharply with the underlying tension, making the moments of fear and revelation all that more impactful. With the increasing popularity of this legend over the last few years, more experiences are bound to come out, and they might add more information to this mysterious place known as Inunaki Village. However, because history has nearly no evidence to prove the past of the Inunaki Village, it seems that there will always be things we'll never know about this place. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.